American psycho, call himself Jesus. Nori Chan Shuffle, we butt heads like Beavis. Not an opportunity that I can pass up. Catapult past where I am to get my cash up. No, but it's not about that. Fulfilling my dream, yeah, it's all about that. Chasing the cheese, caught up in the mousetrap.
Hi, this is Johnny Reid for the RBC Ottawa Bluesfest Fashion. It was amazing, you know, for years and years I've wanted to become a Canadian citizen. I've been a permanent resident since 1988, but every time I went to get my citizenship, I would always be on tour or I would be somewhere else in the world and never had the chance to get it. So I made a big commitment this year that I was going to put it in my schedule that on July 1st I would become a Canadian citizen, and it happened. It was incredible, one of the best moments of my life, just to be officially a Canadian citizen. Wonderful.
Well, I think this way, and you think that way, and he thinks the other way.
Well, I immigrated to Canada in 1988. I came to Canada with my father. My father's a diesel mechanic, and my mother and my brother. I went to school here, I went to university here, and my wife is Canadian, and my eldest boy was born in Canada. I've just always had a great admiration for the country, and the country has given me more than it will ever know. So for me to be officially a Canadian citizen was just a big deal for me. I've said it many a time, but it truly is. It's the only country in the world that celebrates differences, you know, in my estimation. So becoming a Canadian citizen, becoming part of that, becoming something bigger than myself, was just something I've always wanted to do, you know. You know, the word country is always interesting to me because for years, you know, Johnny Reid, country artist. I mean, I've never called myself a country artist, you know. When we go to Europe, I'm a blues singer. When we go other parts of the world, I'm a soul singer. I just sort of sing my songs the way I sing them. In Canada, I feel very humbled. I've sort of been accepted by the country industry, and they've allowed me to have a platform to sort of sing my songs and tell my stories. I guess the biggest question, to be honest, is what is country music? That's probably the biggest question. I mean, in my estimation, one of the best country singers of all time was like Ray Charles. You know, I mean, Ray Charles sang songs that tore your heart out, you know what I mean? The same as Hank Williams, you know, the same as Charlie Rich. You know, these are great singers. Charlie Rich was from Memphis. He was a white soul singer, you know, but the country industry sort of wrapped their arms around him because of how he sang and the emotion that he sang it with and what he was singing about, which is love and hope and family and appreciation, dedication, devotion, you know, all these loss and the sadness of loss, or sometimes, you know, the celebration of life. I mean, these are all things that are spoken about within the country market, you know, but these are also human elements, you know. These are things that, regardless of colour or creed, these are things that sort of connect music around the world. That's what all music's about, really, at the end, you know. So I think the country music, I think it would be fairly narrow-minded of people to associate country music with a guy that wears a cowboy hat, cowboy boots and a big buckle. I think that's pretty narrow thinking. Well, I've basically got three fashion senses, right? The first is when I'm on stage. I've always believed that on stage, and I know some guys, you know, they just walk off the street and get on stage and sing a song. I've always sort of wanted to be an entertainer, you know, and I think that dressing up and getting yourself put together to get on stage, I think that's important. People are paying a lot of money to come see you, so you might as well try your best to look your best for them, right? So I've always sort of enjoyed wearing a suit on stage, a nice pair of shoes, you know, put together, right? I would say that's my Johnny Reid outfit, right? Now my dad outfit, because I've got 4 kids, you know, that's usually flip-flops, a comfortable pair of Lululemon shorts or something, and a t-shirt. You know, that's part of my closet. And then the other part of the closet is travelling, you know, between my house and the stage. And that's usually a pair of jeans, a pair of boots, a t-shirt, you know, something comfortable, something that when I'm in a plane, you know, usually layers. And my favourite wardrobe is my shorts and my t-shirt, you know, and my flip-flops. That's my favourite. But that would say, like, my boys always laugh because they come in and my closet sort of split up into 3. It's dad, travel, Johnny Reid. You know, they're basically my three. And then in between them, I might have like date night with my wife outfit, you know.
Does he ever get to go out with Johnny?
Yeah. Once in a while, you know, if we can find a wee bit of time. I have 4 kids, so that answers that question. I just finished a brand new record. It's the first studio album I've had for 3 years. Bob Ezrin produced the record. I'm so excited about it. I did 2 Christmas records, toured that extensively. But whilst touring the Christmas stuff, I'd been writing through that whole time. So brand new record. I'm going to actually debut a few brand new songs tonight, and hopefully people enjoy them. And the record's coming out November 2015. First single drops in about a week and a half. Ottawa, thank you very much for having me here at RBC Bluesfest. Please go out and get my brand new album November. It's called What Love Is All About, and we'll be seeing you on tour spring 2016.
Gotta do it better, you wanna do it forever. Lights so bright, emotions high like a kite. Man, this is so amazing. This feeling's intoxicating. But I want that feeling. Come on.
Why do I feel intoxicated? I want that feeling back. Why do I feel intoxicated? I want that feeling back. Why do I feel intoxicated? I want that feeling back. Why do I feel intoxicated?
But I've not really called myself a country singer, but happy to be called anything. I've been called worse,